Hello and welcome to this next episode of What's Good Mzansi with me, your host, Jared Petzer. Today I am joined by two wonderful human beings, Sindiso and Dumisani. These guys head up an initiative called IKASI, which is an NGO, and it's all dedicated to helping young girls. And we're going to jump into that in a second. How is everybody doing? What's happening, guys?
Hello, everyone. Good on my side. How are you feeling?
I'm grand, man. I'm grand. Sindiso, how are you doing, brother?
Hello, everyone who is watching. Hi, Jared and Dumi. I'm very well. We are here in sunny Edinburgh. Technology is great, isn't it? This is just amazing. We are in 3 different locations and international. This is good stuff. So yeah, so I'm doing very well. We've got a mild lockdown, so I've just literally come back from a 10K run, so I'm feeling good.
Listen, I'm so jealous about your lockdown because our lockdown is a lockdown, buddy. Like we're not going anywhere, you know, like guys running down the beach side, and I mean, I'm so jealous.
No, it's mild, and hopefully people respect the rules or respect the regulation we've been given, so we can continue at least having to stretch our legs and stuff like that. So I think it's great for the mind, but I guess it's all relative. It's all relative. So hopefully, when the lockdown is finished, everything is slightly goes back to normal, especially back in SA where people need to go out for walks and that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, listen, there's rumors of them extending the lockdown by another 21 days. Yeah. So I'm hoping it's going to be a soft lockdown, but Joe, I guess we got to do what we need to do, right, in order to get this thing away so that we can work together. The one thing I'm really about this is the fact that it's brought a lot of people together. Even though we all all over the place, there's been a lot more community that's going on. You know, thank goodness for the technology, but it looks like people are a lot more united than they were before, which is fantastic.
True.
Okay, guys, so let's talk about IKASI. I mean, this is an exciting project. Sindiso, you and I started connecting with us earlier on in the year. Just give us a little rundown about where it is, what it's about, and how the whole thing came about.
Okay. Well, I think Dumisani can talk about how it came about, and I'll talk a bit about what it is now and what we're looking to do in the future as well.
Fantastic.
Cool. Awesome. So, Jared, IKASI Soccer School basically is there to close gaps in the township, right? I, for one, was coaching at a private school in St. George's Grammar, and I started in 2017. And whilst I did my coaching license, which is a CCAF license, I was doing research, you know, in terms of how can we able to teach girls the fundamental aspects of football, not just kicking and playing, but the terminology, the language, the rules, you know, and the regulations around football. And sitting down with my colleagues now, who are then my friends, we decided, you know what, let's get 4 schools around in the township, Kailicha, area that we close, very stay close, and let's just organize girls, having the schools and without any coaching. So we did it as a tournament, and it was a great success. After that, we realized there's a gap. How do we then able to teach these girls in the way of going forward, you know, in terms of having their own coaching sessions? How do we then implement a strategy, a system for them that will work, knowing that if you attend school Monday to Friday, between the 5 days that you attend school, 3 days in the week, you'd have extramural, which is your after-school program. So IKASI Soccer School is operating in Kailicha. We started out in 2018. Our first tournament was on the 16th of March at Elukolweni, and it's very close to my heart because that's where I started school, at Elukolweni. So I needed to give back. I needed to give back, and from there we moved on to Kukanyile on the 8th of May, and then last we ended up at Hopulang, you know. And then from there we decided to sit down, reflect, and try and see what can we do more. And from there we decided, let's add more girls, having our coaching sessions in place, because we have passionate guys, you know. They dedicated, unemployed, yeah. Yeah, the emphasis on unemployed, but to me, they are employed by IKASI Soccer School because each and every session they are there, every game they are there, each and every meeting they are there. So it does not seem like it's unemployment, but it is a working mechanism, you know. And I hope that many people can be inspired, even though if it's such a small establishment, but we are going somewhere.
Tell me, why is this something that is so close to your heart? I mean, why does it mean so much to the both of you in order to make this thing succeed, for this thing to succeed?
I think the main thing I think is for us is just to add on what Dumisani said is to change the narrative. I mean, we both grew up in Kailicha. I mean, Dumisani is still in Kailicha. I've moved abroad and I still go back to Kailicha literally every time I'm in South Africa. I mean, I was our plans, our private plans, you and I were supposed to go for a tour, but obviously my trip has been cancelled. This would have been happening face to face had there not been coronavirus. I mean, we spoke about it lengthily. Now, I think the key thing is to change the narrative. I mean, growing up in Kailicha, we saw girls, all they did is come from school, and then they're in the house. Back in the days, it used to be something called Mix It. Now it's Facebook and Twitter and all sorts of things. In the house, look after the family, do the washing, literally become women and don't experience what it means to be a child and to be a young child in a township. Me growing up in a township, Dumisani growing up in a township, would get home from school, take our shoes off, go kick some ball in the streets. So it was easy for us to do that. We play football, we play cricket, we play hide and seek. We did all sorts of things which meant we were children. We experienced our childhood. We kicked about, we come back with bruises, we come back with torn pants, you can name it. But the girls don't really have that. They're not encouraged to do that. And then especially in the places where township where it's dangerous for girls to be out in the streets. It's almost a taboo for girls to be out in the streets running about. They need to be in the house cooking, cleaning, and doing all sorts of things. And we wanted to change that. And we thought that there was a gap, but not only for them to do that, but also for them to feel that if boys can do it, so can they. If they can be young girls empowered and just given the right to make their own choices and their own activities, but most importantly, just to feel that they are someone, they are part of the community. And so what we do at the IKASI Soccer School, we provide young girls in the community with safe educational soccer programs. We're now moving on to educational programs. I mean, we've got some really good volunteers who are willing to do lecturing classes on the weekends, maths, English, science, you name it. We've got people coming in. But our core mission is to assist educators and schools and parents and learners to develop to develop the girls to become more responsible citizens, to become more confident. And again, like I said, to believe that if boys can do it, if boys can go out and take the initiative and be themselves fully, while they are young children. These girls are between the ages of 11 and 14 and 15, and some are in early high school. So we want them to have that power in their hands. Instead of just talking about it, we want to practice it in going out there and being active. So which is really good. I mean, growing up in Kailicha, that girls would either have a boyfriend at a very young age and then end up falling pregnant, not finishing school, going to drugs and alcohol abuse. And our aim, our biggest vision is to eradicate all these things from the girls, and also to get better employment, to increase the employment rate by the volunteers that we're actually working with in the future to have stipends, so they've got something to take back to their families. They're not just working for free, but they love what they're doing. They're passionate about what they're doing. And how better is it to be passionate and also having to provide for your family by doing what you love most?
Yeah, really. So it's really a sense of self-worth and empowerment, right? I mean, that's that's a really amazing initiative, and I think that I'd love to see this thing growing and to flourish, because it's so needed. It's so desperately needed in this time. I mean, the girls have been doing quite well in their tournaments. Dumisani, I think when we spoke last, they were about to go into qualifiers. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was amazing. So the last time that we spoke, the girls, they really, really excelled. I'll just take you further back. Last year, June 16th, we entered a tournament, out in Philippi, in the Philippe Lam Sports Hall. And we played against an all-boys team. They're the only boys, were the only girls team. And we ended up fourth in that tournament,
What?
It was a really a wonderful experience for the girls. Because for us, we've always tried to protect them from not playing all boys tournament, but also having girls. But that was a real test, an eye-opener also for us to see, well, girls, you've got what it takes. You're talented, you've got the skill, you've got the zest, you've got the energy. Yeah. Go out there and utilize it. And to our surprise, they end up fourth in an all-boys tournament.
That's insane. That's absolutely incredible. It just shows you, we live in these stigmas, Girls are stronger than boys. Boys are smarter than girls. And it's nonsense. It's all nonsense.
Yeah.
The only thing that can ever stop you from achieving anything that you want to achieve in this world is your own limitations. And if you allow other people's limitations to be impressed upon you. The reality is that you can literally do anything as long as you've got the hunger and the desire to do that. I mean, that's just phenomenal.
Absolutely.
So you guys launched a Becker Buddy fund a little while ago. Let's just talk about the Becker Buddy fund and the purpose for those funds and where they would be allocated and what they need it for.
Yeah, so I think just before we get into that, I think the key thing with this tournaments and everything that we're doing is to bridge these fundamental gaps of ethnicity, gaps of race and sexes. You know what I mean? So the fact that they can go out there, challenge boys, and sometimes even some girls never left Khayelitsha. When we took them out in private places and suburban places, they were amazed that it's actually possible to be with other girls of other races and actually enjoy and love what we do. Now, going back to your question in regards to the Becker Buddy campaign, last year we had a run organized on Women's Day, I think in August last year, and we want all the girls to go out for a run and just enjoy being young girls and future women, great women of our country, of our nation. And one of the girls on her way to the run, to the organized run for Women's Day, she got abducted and raped, unfortunately, and it killed us. I mean, we felt helpless. We couldn't do nothing for them. I mean, even to this day, when I talk about it, it just gives me a lump in my throat. The person has not been found. The girl is going through some counseling still. I can't begin to imagine to say how she felt about the whole thing or how she still feels. But now the Becker Buddy campaign, we realized that the reason why such things happen is because we couldn't pick her up from a house. Some of these girls are working 10, 20 kilometers. They're traveling from informal settlements to go to the meeting spots, and they're jumping on taxis, they're jumping on all sorts of things. Some are even walking. She was walking. So we realized that, you know what, if there's one thing that we can achieve, we hope, we pray to achieve this year, is to have a transportation for the girls. What we're going to do is we'll pick each and every person up from their house on the training day. We go to the training or whatever sports program we have on the day. We pick them up, and then they train together, and then we drop them off safely. And this will kill this. I mean, in South Africa, last year with Uyinene and many other women, not just Uyinene, but Uyinene woke people up with this gender-based violence, this femicide, and it happens to children as young as 14. She was only 14 years old, and almost her life was taken out of her. And for us, it killed us. It kills me now talking about it. So the Becker Buddy campaign is to raise money to buy an Iveco, maybe 16 plus, 17 plus, 18 plus seater, where we can pick up our girls on a training days, drop them off. I mean, you can imagine the team spirit, the camaraderie in that, but most importantly, the safety. So we believe if we reach this campaign, things have changed now, obviously, due to the coronavirus. People are watching their pockets, they're watching their pennies, but I'm sure there's someone out there who's able to help us. If you are, please check out the Becker Buddy campaign that we're doing, so that we can eradicate, number one, safety. We can eradicate this gender-based violence. We can eradicate this system where girls feel unsafe. I mean, that takes out confidence from the girls' parents. Everyone hear about it, so they don't want to send the girls to this wonderful program that we are doing, absolutely free. And so that's the campaign really, and it's to help us to keep our girls safe, to keep them together, but most importantly, to make them feel important. Can you imagine being picked up from your house? I mean, Dumisani would know much more better about this, because he played, I think, for one of the one of the good teams in Cape Town. I think it's for Ajax. He was getting picked up from his house, getting dropped off in a fully branded IKASI Soccer School Iveco. Just the joy of them feeling that sense of importance, but also that safety, which is something that we lack very much, and unfortunately in South Africa, especially in the townships. So yeah, that's the Becker Buddy campaign. Check it out. Do what you can and help us keep our girls safe.
If you've just tuned in, we're talking to Dumisani and Sindiso. The guys are part of a NGO called IKASI. In fact, they actually, sorry, not IKASI, sorry guys. What is it? It's
IKASI Soccer School.
IKASI, sorry. Part of IKASI Soccer School. It's a soccer school for girls, and they've just done some really, really remarkable things over the past couple of years. They've got a Becker Buddy fund that they actually launched to us to help get some funding in. And the idea there was to raise capital in order to get some transportation for these young girls. I mean, that's the reality of this situation is heartbreaking. I mean, to think that people would that kids are willing to walk and to take out all their time, those 10, 20 kilometers just to get to something like that. It shows you how much it actually must mean to them. And then for something like that to happen to them along the way it's quite heartbreaking. And it speaks to the reality of thousands of people, I'd imagine, in townships.
Yeah, and just to answer that, Jared, for me, the most touching thing for these girls is that to see these girls having the passion, having them, when I go around in the township now, I'm like the new Nelson Mandela. Hello, coach. I don't hardly coach some of these girls. I hardly coach some of them. I don't do any coaching, by the way, at IKASI. I only did it for the first year, and then I stepped out, So it just shows you that the level of the anxiety that they now at grade 1. So she knows that, but by the time she gets to grade 5, she's like, oh, I'll probably able to be empowered by this guy, And secondly, we have girls already asking, coach, when are we starting again? We're so tired and fed up of Corona. We just miss training. We miss everybody. We miss you guys. So it's something more than just IKASI Soccer School. It's a family, We're building a family where young girls get the platform to stand up in front of the podium and just reach for the stars.
Yeah. How many people are involved in this thing? Is it just the two of you? I mean, I'd imagine that you've got a lot of. You did mention you've got a few teachers that are teaching on weekends. Is there quite a big team that's actually behind this thing supporting?
Yeah. So just to name the guys, because I think it's very important. So the directors is Sindiso, myself, Oyama, and Sipo, and then we have our dedicated coaches, Picolomzi, Unati, Anele, Tsika, and then we have 2 lovely parents. These parents have been with us from day one. Unati and Maga Iviwe, and they girls are also playing for IKASI. So we've got a good, strong team, and not to forget the principals. What can we do without the principals from Elukolweni, Hopolang, Luandle, and Kukanyele? Those guys from day one came in there. No one's tried to stop the door or shut the door on our way. They're like, guys, what do you want to do with the girls? What is your agenda? Well, here's the door. Show us what you can do. And from day one till today, we still have a good, open, transparent relationship with them.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Sindiso, there's something that really intrigued me by the video that I saw that you did a little while ago when you were talking to the girls, and there was a message that you put across them. Let's just talk about that message and why you believe it's so important to instill that message into our young girls.
Yeah, so the message is just to say it. I've got 2 young girls, and growing up in a society, girls are always looking at things that are external approval to believe who they are, self-worth and stuff like that. And the message first, before I talk about how I got into IKASI, is I'm brave, I'm strong, I'm smart, and I'm beautiful. And so I was doing a little talk because this is my first time visiting IKASI Soccer School from when I actually started being a director of it. And I had a huge campaign here in the UK. I did a half marathon for the first time ever with about 4 weeks of training to raise some funds for it. And I also did a little collection of football strips from a team in Edinburgh called Edinburgh City FC. And I took everything back with me to South Africa. And just before I handed everything over, I did a little speech just to kind of introduce myself and just talk to the girls, to talk life and to talk positivity into their lives. And I just said, listen, girls, here's what you need to tell yourself each and every day before you leave your house. You look yourself in the mirror, and you tell yourself that you are brave, you are strong, you are smart and beautiful, because that is nothing. Nobody can take that away from you. People can tell you all sorts of things. People can try to take your pride. People can try to take your sense of belief and all sorts of stuff, but nobody can take these things away from you. And people will tell you otherwise, but as long as you tell yourself, this is who you are, this is what you are, you will achieve that, and you will continue to live in that manner. So yeah, the message is very simple, it's straightforward, and I urge each and every person, not just girls, not just young girls and young boys and women and men. When you're out there, just tell yourself these things and believe it. Truly believe that you're strong, you're brave, you're smart, and you're beautiful.
What a message, man! What an absolutely beautiful message. Is there any message that you would want to give to the audience watching, to any young kids? Is there anything that you'd want to say to anybody, Dumisani, about just some message of hope? Anything that you want to communicate?
Well, it's all in our slogan, football impilo. Football is life. It's what FIFA preaches all the time. I know our former President Nelson Mandela, he used sport as a tool to unite everybody. And we are all feeling it now, When you switch on your TV, there's no football. Our lives are empty, I'm just an empty soul now. I wish I could do something bigger after the coronavirus, Even during the coronavirus, I'm now thinking at a point where we've just supported half of our girls in terms of supplying them with safety, hygiene, soap, and Dettol, But what about what they really, really need? And that's something that's at the heart and core of South Africans now in the township. And that's just basic food.
Yeah.
Because we are busy now sending out, we have a WhatsApp group with the parents where we have challenges in terms of physical challenges, as well as academics, because we have now, we download examination papers from grade 4 up until grade 9, and we send it out into the group. But how do we then get them to really, really focus on what we're trying to do if their stomachs are empty?
Yeah.
A message of hope for myself. I think, again, it's just to go back. If you believe it, you can achieve it. If you truly, truly believe it, you can achieve it. Again, quoting one of the best men ever lived in South Africa, and there's many, but I'm going to talk about this one, Nelson Mandela, which I had on back of my running top. It says, it always seems impossible until it's done. So wherever you are out there, it's always going to seem impossible until you actually go ahead and do it. And the biggest thing is when you set your goals, make sure your goals are bigger than your goal is bigger than your challenge, because every time you get an obstacle or your goal is smaller, the obstacle will be above your challenge. So just always make sure that your goal is bigger than your challenge. Man, we dream big. We've got a big vision for IKASI Soccer School. I mean, we're only working with 4 schools just now. We want to expand. We want all the schools in the township of Khayelitsha and move to other townships to go nationally with what we are doing, and make sure we are reaching each and every young girl in each and every primary school. We want to go beyond IKASI. IKASI means, by the way, township. We want to go beyond that. We want to go to each and every school where the young girls who need to be empowered, with young girls who want to go ahead and be something in their lives. And we dream big, and the bigger your dream, the bigger the challenge, but most importantly, the bigger the work that's needed to get done. So if you're going to dream, make sure you put in the work. There's one thing, I don't know who said it, but there's one thing I always said when I used to work in sales back about 10 years ago. The one thing that we used to say is that keep your feet firmly and keep your head in the clouds, but your feet firmly on the ground. So keep dreaming, but make sure you keep doing the work as well.
What an inspiring message. Thank you so much, Dumisani, and sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
I speak to you every day.
Listen, my brain is proud. I'm dreaming these like every day, but 1,000.
You probably speak to 1 million people. Yeah,
so,
you address 1 million people almost every day. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Sorry, Sindiso. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to be rude. I'm just trying to keep my mind intact here. Guys, so listen, if you've watched this, I urge you please to get involved. I'm going to leave the details in this video, so you can go check out their Becker Buddy account, their page set up, and go in a system if you can. It's an amazing initiative. We need more people doing more stuff like this to really help our youth, especially our youth. So, guys, I just want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. We're here to support you in any way that we can, we'll keep on promoting you and keep on promoting the good work you're doing. And blessings to you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. Thank you so much for giving us this space. We really, really appreciate you, man. And I wish I was there to shake your hand, to share a meal and a drink with you, but that time is still coming.
That time is coming.
We keep praying.
Yeah, we're going to have a draw.